I think I've now raced twice at London, and there's not a lot of atmospheres that beat how you feel when you're running the last straight in London. It's something amazing. It's already just when you walk into the stadium today, when it's completely empty, it looks amazing. But with this crowd, nothing is like this. I think just a good race, a good execution of my race. I think it was a good race in Monaco, my first 51 of the season, which is always great. But whenever I'm in London, I always want to overperform a bit because it's such a great atmosphere, such a great track to race at. And I'll just try to execute again a great race, and I hope to go even a bit faster than my season's best. I think I'm just focused on my own process, on my own race. I think there's Sydney, but there's also Delilah, there's also Anna. We have a lot of great athletes right now racing, which is really exciting, I think, for the event, also on the men's side. But I'm feeling good. I think the season is progressing like we want it to. After this, I go back to a training block, and then I'll be getting ready for the last races and then Worlds. Well, look at the stadium. I think it speaks for itself. It would be an amazing place. I would love to race a World Championship here, getting to race there multiple times in a week, and I think it would be sold out every day, so it would be amazing.
Waiting to start my season, of course, injury prevents that, but, thankfully, I was very blessed to be able to get 2 buys, so I'm not rushing, I would say. Things have been progressing extremely well. Every day, I get faster, and it's like, okay, let's put it to the test. Let's go up against a great competition. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want to be able to compete at the highest level with the highest people, and if it doesn't, you don't come away with the victory, it's like, whoo, I got the fire in my belly now. And if you do, it's like, all right, great, we're exactly where we want to be. Let's keep it pushing. I mean, I always want to win. Winning is I think the most important. Being able to hold your own in the most strict and pressurized, condensed areas is what you want. A fast time never hurts as well. I'd love to run 9.8. I think 9.9 is already like, this is, the status quo for the season, but, a win is definitely the more important thing. Oh, wow. I expect, to be honest, do a lot of things outside of track. As a few know, that I started my own production company, so probably having a few shows out in the world, some to do with track, some probably not. Maybe even getting a cartoon movie made about sports would be really cool. Probably even starting my own track and field league by then. I mean, and then I'll be 32, so it'll be right after LA. So I'll either have taken over the track world or I will have 3 gold medals at the Olympics. So either of those sound great.
What will you have run for 400 meters by then?
By then? Somebody would have to pay me a lot of money to get to see that. So I can't say that I will be doing too many of those to be able to say, yeah, when I'm in peak shape, I'll drop a fast time. I think we already talked about it, how great of a crowd this is. If you want a championship, you want the crowd to be engaged, you want them to want it to be here. So it would be great here because the fans love athletics.
Congratulations, Olympic 100-meter champion. And how many times have you been back to St. Lucia since your gold medal?
Maybe 3 times.
And have things changed? Is it easy? Can you still relax there, or are you recognised everywhere you go?
I am recognised everywhere I go in St. Lucia. But being back on Ireland, that's my home. That's where I grew up, born and raised. So it's always a pleasure being back on Ireland, with my people. Like every other athlete who compete, they want to win the race. However, now becoming tourism ambassador for my small island, it's always a pleasure, representing myself first, but also representing them. There can be pressure sometimes. However, I think that just a few weeks ago, I switched that mindset. It's like I'm doing for myself first. And St. Lucia is a reflection of me as well. So whatever comes with me, they'll just have to take it. I'm very competitive. And in order for you to be the best, I think it starts from training. You cannot, skylark and be at the back of the pack in practice. So I always try to be up front. And training with Dina, alongside Dina, is always competitive. She's a great athlete, so yeah. I mean, I don't have any trials. So, I mean, just trying to take each race and work on some little things with my coach and see where we go from there in preparation for Tokyo. Representing St. Lucia on the global stage, I mean, Leuven Spencer, who was a high jumper for St. Lucia, she was my role model, especially being St. Lucian herself. And growing up in school, primary school, we heard about her a lot. So I'm hoping that, I can be an inspiration for the youth in St. Lucia. I think what I can attest to is where we come from. I mean, our island is only 238 square miles, and sometimes it can be seen as a disadvantage. But I think I would say to them, just take every opportunity that you get. Mine was going to Jamaica at a very young age, and also no matter where you're from, you can achieve like big things.
The status quo of our normal seasons kind of got a little interrupted because of the injury, but again, having the buys has made it a lot easier, taking a lot of weight and pressure off of us so that we can just go in and train and treat every race as an opportunity to get better and faster instead of saying, we have to win, we have to do this, we have to do this. As long as we're building up to make sure that Tokyo is our greatest moment and we have fun and we improve at each opportunity, that's the goal.
Femke, I don't know if you're motivated by numbers, but you'll be probably aware that you've won your last, I think, 28 Diamond League races over 5 years. How important are numbers and running runs like that to you? Does that motivate you?
I mean, it's nice. I like it, and it shows my consistency throughout the last years, but at the same time, it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is at the end always the championships, and I think the numbers on the clock sometimes. So it's not something that truly motivates me, but I always want to do better, and it's really great to see I already have this long streak.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an awesome race. I've had a very smooth last 5-6 weeks since the last Grand Slam, and so I'm just looking to go out there, run something fast, and put something on the on the leaderboard that will make me proud going into the World Championship. So it's been a great season for me so far. A bit of a slow start, but we're getting into a position where I feel very confident.
The crowd really is something else.
It really is, and I think it's a huge allure for athletes to come. I mean, I've had a bit of a hiatus from the London Diamond League for a while just due to timing issues for me during the season, but I'm very excited to be back, and it's the most incredible Diamond League there is out there, and I'm just looking to put on something that's worth everyone's time over in the last event.
What would satisfy you tomorrow?
I'm here to win, number one, but I think I can run pretty fast, so I would say go out, be aggressive, and see what we can come up with. I believe we're coming through the 800 in about 151. So, yeah.
So that would be British record schedule, if
Yes.
not a bit quicker.
Yeah, so that's the idea. A British record would be a great way for me to run this meet. But at the end of the day, when you have a race like this, with it's so packed and loaded with great athletes, I think it's number one priority. You're going to win, and you're going to get a good enough time from that. But I'm not here for a slow race. If I can keep training the way I'm training, then I'm going to be in a great spot. And so when you do that, the races come to you a little bit. Obviously, I've got British Champs coming up in a couple of weeks. That's an important meet of the year. And then from there, we'll see what we want to do. But it's making sure that I stay smooth with the training and don't fight the body too much and let the races come to me. It's the most magical stadium in the world, I believe. I think anyone that stands in there tomorrow will realise the energy that a London and British crowd can bring to World Championships. And I was able to experience that a lot. Some of us were able to experience that in 2017, and I would love to probably cap my career doing that.
Feels like a short career, but it is actually a really long career. It's been so long. I actually competed in Stratford last week, and where my hotel was, I had the walk to the stadium, and it actually coincided with walking through the old Olympic Village where we stayed, and I got so nostalgic. And I don't like to think of it too much because then I realise how long I've been around, but it's a very, very special place and a very special stadium, and I've got such fond memories of competing here. And yeah, I think it's been the highlight of the two championships here, even though my first one, I was 19, so I wasn't expected to do much, and the 2017 one was a little bit upsetting, but I still have only good memories of this place. Every time I've come here, I've done a good mark, and it's given me confidence going into my heptathlon, and I would like that again. Obviously, it's a season opener, but I feel like training's been going well. I feel 100% healthy, and that's the most important thing for me, is to feel healthy, and then I don't have to think about my body. I can just think about my cues and my performance, so I hope that is the case tomorrow for me. I do love my event, and the more I have achieved, especially in the last 3 years, the more that I don't want to stop. It's such a fortunate career, and I'm so grateful that I'm still here at 32 and still getting personal best and still getting medals. And I have dabbled in single events before. In 2015 and 2017, I qualified for the long jump and high jump alongside the heptathlon. And I think once I focused on the heptathlon in 2019, that's when I ultimately won my first World Championship medal. So for me, it's heptathlon's my high jump's my first love, but heptathlon is my only love. You know. We always pack out the stadiums, we always support our athletes, and every time I've been in the stadium, including tomorrow, I'm excited to just be a part of this competition for the audience.
Yeah, 2017 was my debut championships, and yeah, it was the best 3 weeks of my life. I think I looked around this place with just rose-tinted glasses on for 3 weeks, and it was pretty much bigger and better than I could have ever dreamed. I think now coming back here, it just brings back those memories. Even just walking here from the hotel, that's where we stayed in the World Championships, that same hotel, and it's just like, it's only good memories and just always been a good time in Stratford and at the Olympic Stadium. I think in the mixed power races, it's kind of always a win for everyone. If everyone runs well, then everyone wins in their kind of own way. But for me, I like the idea of being competitive. It doesn't really make any difference to anyone on international terms, but for me, it's a good opportunity to have that rehearsal for the World Championships and be competitive on one of the biggest stages we get. It's a long season. It's definitely, I think, as everyone's seen this year, everything's been pushed back, which has been very helpful for us being so late. I think the one thing that I trust Aston to do so well is get us ready when we need to be. So just following sort of the plan that he sets out, make sure that I know that I'll be in the best shape come October. If that means PBs now, it just means it's going to be faster in October. So it's exciting.
No, I think for me, I was able to reach the top of the sport in 2023, and I wanted to show that you can still do that in the sport without, breaking any rules. And so to be able to show a transparent, authentic look of what it takes to be a world champion in the sport, I think there's a place for that, for the younger generation coming through. And we're trying to figure out and slowly but surely tailor the videos to what we want them to look like and what, people want to see, which is training and racing and things like that. And I think it's important. I think it's an important role for me to play now of I now have the confidence that I know what I'm doing. And so now I can try and show how you can do that with, playing by the rules in the sport. And I think there's space for that.